Okay, so we addressed the medulla oblongata external features. Now we're going to be talking about the nuclei that are found within the medulla oblongata, and there are a few, but because we're going to divide them and we're going to work through them slowly, it's going to be understandable. So for the medulla oblongata nuclei, essentially you have three types of nuclei that are found within the medulla oblongata, and these three types of nuclei are just the same as the ones that we've already discussed. So it's like sensory, which is also known as terminal nuclei. Then you also have motor. Then you also have parasympathetic. And these types of nuclei that are found within the medulla oblongata, you kind of have different ones for each one. So the cranial nerves that are leaving the medulla oblongata, the cranial nerves are cranial nerves 9, 10, 11, and 12. 9 is glossopharyngeal, 10 is vagus, 11 is hypoglossal, 11 is accessory, 12 is hypoglossal. And basically cranial nerves 9 and 10 are mixed, and cranial nerves 11 and 12 are motor. But when we're talking about cranial nerves 9 and 10, which are mixed, let's start off by discussing firstly just this part. Ignore everything else. Discussing just this part, cranial nerves 9 and 10, they do have because they're mixed, they have both sensory and motor. And the sensory nucleus for cranial nerves 9 and 10 is nucleus solitarius. Nucleus solitarius, and this is also known as tractus solitarius, but let's just stick to nucleus solitarius for the purpose of keeping it short. And basically this nucleus solitarius is one of the then sensory nuclei found within the medulla oblongata. But specifically, if I ask you the question, nucleus solitarius, which cranial nerves does it apply for? Which cranial nerves is it for? And it's for cranial nerves 9 and 10, as well as this small I is for nervus intermedius, which is a branch of the facial nerve. Now, the other nucleus that we find for cranial nerves 9 and 10 is nucleus ambiguus. Now, remember vagus nerve? Vagus is the wanderer. The wanderer wanders around because it's like found in lots of different esophagus, heart, GIT. Like it's pretty cool. Okay, now it wanders around, and that's why it's the nucleus was a little bit ambiguous. It was mysterious, so we named it nucleus ambiguus. Okay, now I want to tell you that cranial nerves 11 and 12 are just motor. They have only motor. Now let's talk about the sensory nuclei, all of them at once now. So you have basically nucleus solitarius, nucleus parasolitarius, nucleus spinalis nervi trigemini, nucleus gracilis and cuneatus,